Good. I'm coming. Coming. Hi. I'm just kidding. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I felt like my mic went out. Hi. Hi. We haven't been here in 2 weeks. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Quest Show. Thank you for coming, everyone. We missed you. I am your host, Lana Quest. I almost forgot to say that. I'm like, what do I say next? This is my lovely co-host in that chocolate brown, my favorite color.
Honor to be here.
Yes, we have a jam-packed show. It is jam-packed. Like, this paper is making me anxious, so we are absolutely going to jump right into it. But first, before we do that, we're going to ask you all, please, to like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate you all. Thank you to our new subscriber.
We are thank you.
Thank
Really?
you. We love you. So a lot's been going on. Gosh, where do we start? What do we? Can we start with the hearing, the oversight hearing? Because was that the first one that they did?
It was the first one that they did. It was on Twitter.
Yes.
Twitter oversight.
Yes.
Twitter. The oversight committee had a hearing on Twitter.
Yeah, relative
and specifically, I thought the meeting was supposed to be about the New York Times story,
right?
About Hunter Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Was that? Or just in killing things in general.
It just went. I don't know where it went. It was like a whole personal grievance parade. It was like, who's next? Oh my goodness. Did you guys watch that out there? That was the most insane thing. They're supposed to be doing, the oversight committee is a very important committee, right? And there is room to have a hearing relative to Twitter's, to oversight these different platforms, right? Of course, we knew that's not what they really wanted to do, was it? Everyone had a grievance.
Here's the thing. So before we get into the nonsense, right?
Yeah.
So as far as the social media platforms, we have, this is not the first time they've been pulled in front of the oversight committee. Correct. They could have asked them about what they're doing about bullying to combat that. They could have asked what their current best practices are for combating misinformation, especially since we are getting ready to go into another election cycle, right? We could have asked they could have asked maybe what they were doing to limit destructive advertising towards children, or
how about white supremacy?
Right.
It's on the rise.
Right. What are you doing? What are you doing to, really, there is a lot of oversight that needs to be done with these companies.
Absolutely.
But instead, what did we get?
Girl?
What did we get?
What did we get? We got Marjorie Taylor Greene yelling at the Twitter executives about suspending her account. That was like, is she okay? Because she couldn't even fake professional. No. She couldn't even fake a professional question. It was like, and you suspended my account for a joke. It was a joke. And you suspended my Congresswoman account. She was like, I'm glad you
use it for my campaign account too.
Girl, and she said, and I'm glad you all got fired.
She did say that. I was like, oh my God.
A lawmaker said that she was happy that people lost employment. Sit on that for just 1 second. Like, she said that as a lawmaker. It don't matter what side. You don't know these people's political sway. Like, you don't know their politics, but just because they harmed you, you're like, fuck that. I'm glad you lost your job. Like, Wow.
Like that particular person was like, I hate Marjorie and I am responsible for. Actually, you know what? During part of it, I did hear one of the former Twitter employees saying, tweets are reported. I think, this is how we tweets get reported. There's a whole process for this. It is not, they were saying in relation to whether or not Biden, he wasn't even in administration, whether or not he, as I heard on the news, as a private citizen, called Twitter and said, please pull these tweets. No, he didn't do that. That's not what we do.
He didn't do that at
had
all.
A tweet threatening to kill someone, Marjorie Paul Gosar.
Right.
That stuff gets reported in droves, mind you, because there are plenty of people that find that offensive.
And some may think it's not good to be anti-Semitic or threatening to kill people. Some people may, like you said, find offensive. So what happened though? Because this is the beauty, and I hope they continue along this path, because every investigation that they want to do is just going to shine a light on their nonsense. It's like they are playing tiddlywinks to somebody who's playing chess. Like, they don't have the brains to go up against the Democrats.
So, little nugget for you. And I don't know if this was at the hearing. I know this came out that the Trump White House did indeed call Twitter to have a tweet pulled.
Mm-hmm.
This is now in the congressional record.
Mm-hmm.
It was a response to a tweet that Trump had put out regarding John Legend and his wife, Chrissy Teigen.
Right.
And Chrissy went on ahead and tweeted back and called him a pussy ass bitch.
Yeah, which he is. But
it's a show
besides the point, I guess.
Besides the point, but pussy ass bitch is now in the congressional record. That tweet is now in the congressional record for all time. I'm not even sure many people knew that Twissy clapped back like that, but they know now.
And I sure didn't. And then who is the one who was actually, because, part of the Republicans, their thing is that, the conservative voices are being squashed. That's what our voices aren't being heard. But in fact, Donald Trump called Twitter, had his people call the Twitter people to have Chrissy's tweet taken down. So who's suppressing whom? Like, who's doing that? Donald Trump.
It's not even like it was misinformation. It was the absolute truth. It was the absolute truth.
That's why they left it out.
There's that.
Her opinion. It's just like, what? Why can't we leave this?
I concur.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, it's just pretty unbelievable.
It really is. And they had issues with the tweets or the story about Hunter's laptop and the fact that they pulled down his nudie pictures or something.
Did you hear, Brian? Did you hear the Republicans' new black star? Brian Donald.
Right. Why?
Yo, he was like, and you took it down. Why did you take the picture of the penis down? What? He was upset.
Girl, it was insane.
Why did you take that picture down? They're like,
why, black man?
I'm
sorry. Why, black man? Do they have you doing this line of questioning? Why do they always fall for it?
And Twitter's like, because it was an inappropriate picture of someone's penis on our platform.
Why you ain't had Paul Gosar ask those questions? Why you got that black man asking about the penis questions? And why is he going along with it?
Like, really, he was upset. Why'd you take the nudes down of Hunter Biden? Why?
Probably because they were reported.
Right.
In droves.
Nobody wants to see anybody's nudes on Twitter. Like, what is this? But apparently, Brian Donalds does.
I mean, if OnlyFans was sitting before the oversight committee, that might be an appropriate picture. I mean, an appropriate question, right?
They should have had Lindsey Graham doing that questioning. Why did you take the penis down?
That's not how Lindsay talks. Lindsay.
Right?
Well, I mean, it was a picture of a penis, and everyone is entitled to First Amendment viewing. Not even free speech, viewing. Freedoms.
We have freedom to look at any penis that we want to look at.
Freedoms. Freedoms.
You know,
and again, we want to end on a note that Donald was most interested in that. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put in on the Quest show record. I'm not even gonna repeat it, but what went on congressional record for Donald, I'm putting on Quest show record for Donald. You a PAB, sir. You're a PAB.
My
that's why you let them punk you like that.
Why?
I don't. How many? We don't even know how many Republicans men there are in the House. I don't know the number offhand. But out of all of them,
right?
Why were you so fiery over that? He was
very
sincere.
He was
very sincere about it.
He was upset. I mean, he had all of Sarah Huckabee's energy. Sarah Huckabee had none. I know we're gonna get there, but he had all of the fire. Like, he brought the fire. Anyway, let's move on. Watch that space. Something made me very happy this week, though, real quick, and I just remembered that one of these thousands of notes. The Democrats got control of the Pennsylvania House.
I just heard that today through 3 special elections. That is awesome.
That is
awesome.
Amazing. And Mark Elias, you probably heard,
we're two-fering tonight because he was on the call. Say it, girl. Say it.
He sure was. And he was like, listen, all you blue states, do not get comfortable. Do not
17.
Exactly.
He said there are 17
calling them out
states that are democratically controlled.
Right. And at this point,
let's start with Michigan.
Girl.
Because I didn't know this. And Michigan is all women led. Right. Michigan has a law on the books that you cannot give free rides to people to the polls.
Right. Exactly.
He said each and every one of those states, he was like, you may think, because that's the first one he threw out. He said, you may think that there's nothing for you to do. Right. He said there is something each and every one of us can do.
There's always something, because Republicans will find that loophole that you have to now close. So don't get comfortable and say it can't happen to you.
Especially if you're newly Democratic controlled. You really do need to comb back through some of the laws that have been enacted while you're Republican legislature. You had a Republican-led legislature.
Right.
And for everybody out there, Nicole has already said to Mark Elias, we need to follow up on the recommendations for all 17 states. Mm-hmm. So if you do not subscribe or follow Mark Elias on Twitter,
absolutely,
he has a newsletter, the Democracy Docket. He is one of the leading voting rights attorneys in the country.
He's a treasure.
Has suits all everywhere. So we really need to pay attention to that. And something for Democrats, we can feel empowered about that. Let's really, really, really strengthen the systems here so that they cannot be tampered with on a federal level.
Absolutely. And start now. I mean, I did not even know that New York, you can't bring food to people in line.
That part, right? Like she was saying, we talked about it in Georgia, but you can't do that. So like free rides, you can't take people to the polls in Michigan, and you can't give food or drink to people in line in New York.
Right. I mean, if we can, all of these states that we can do it in, we should have people automatically be registered when they turn 18 or when you get your driver's license or however they want to make it happen.
That's an easy one to do, right?
Exactly. Be able to pre-register your kids. Because like I said, here in Massachusetts, I pre-registered my kids when they were, I think 16 or something. And then once they turn 18, they're registered. They're ready. So yeah, you're right. It's absolutely, we got work to do.
Yeah. And there's a lot that we can be done in this off season to strengthen us for 2024 when these primaries start coming up.
Absolutely. What time? 8:07. Oh, we're doing so good. You want to hit some breaking news?
Yes.
Or do we
can?
Yeah.
Well, we have. I mean,
there's
we have some breaking news, but we also related to. Well, actually, this is kind of related to the state. I was going to say related to the State of the Union because she kind of resembled one, but the China's balloon.
Oh, we didn't talk.
I'm getting my stories mixed up.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we didn't talk. I mean, there are those other things that did happen in the news this week. China's balloon was spotted over, what was it, Missouri first? I don't know. It's the spy balloon that America had to make sure it wasn't a weather balloon first. Republicans are like, oh my God, you guys took so long to shoot it down.
Well, actually, you know what? It wasn't even making sure it was a weather balloon. They knew it was a spy balloon. They said when it shot it down, it had a debris field of like 7 miles. They had to make sure that there were no injuries that occurred on the ground, so they did not shoot it down over land. Biden gave the order to shoot that thing down on Wednesday.
It is almost common sense to not shoot something down over land. You're not even supposed to shoot a gun upside because the bullet comes up, because the bullet comes out. Like, it doesn't. Why Republicans are like, this outrage is not outrage. Like, they outraged about
stupidity at this point.
Dumb stuff until what? Oh wait, there were 3 other balloons under Trump?
Right, that they didn't even know about. That they didn't even know about. So there's that.
Yeah. So to Honor's point, Marjorie Taylor Greene dressed up as a balloon, I guess. I
think it was her attempt at a balloon. Instead, she ended up looking like Cruella.
She sure did, without the black. Because why would she have black?
And she wasn't nearly as sassy as Meryl Streep. Oh, was it Glenn Close? No, it was Glenn Close. It was Glenn.
Why don't 2 women look alike to me? I don't. Sorry, people. We don't think all white people look alike, but
we don't.
Those 2 women to
me, they're both great.
Yeah.
And it's been a while. My kids are grown now, so there's that excuse.
Oh my gosh.
So, and you know what? Just to quickly mention before the breaking news, Alvin Bragg in New York has reopened the case.
That is right.
Paneled a grand jury to look into the hush money payment that was made to Stormy Daniels on behalf of individual number 1. There are a number of theories as to why he is now moving like hot fish grease on this.
Hot fish grease.
Hot fish grease or moving like your mother just touched your ear with that hot comb. One of those could be that, I guess, now that the Trump administration and the DOJ is no longer under Barr, they have picked the investigation back up. That has been said that Barr himself, after Michael Cohen was convicted, shut it down. It was shut down from Washington. Right. There will be no more investigation.
Right.
So just gross interference by the Department of Justice. It was, I mean, it was like, it's like he had it. It was like his personal law firm versus being the law for the American people.
And that's how Cohen ended up in jail. It was Barr sent that man to jail and kept him in jail. Like, that wasn't like some real, you're going to jail because we found. No, that they wanted to lock him up as punishment for talking.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's that.
Hopefully something comes of that. So, in breaking news, ABC reported it first, and now I heard that NBC confirmed it as well, that Pence has been subpoenaed by our friendly special counsel, Jack Smith, that everyone is nervous about. It is unclear what he wants.
Actually,
why do they know for sure?
Unclear, because the New York Times has confirmed that it is about the January 6th investigation.
Oh, well, right. We know that, but we're unclear on like if it's the role, if it's about how Pence was pressured, if it's
probably about all of it.
Right, probably about
it's probably about all of it.
But
I think when it first came out, well, actually, it doesn't make sense that Pence would be subpoenaed regarding Mar-a-Lago, because, Jack is working on both cases. Right. So it had to be January 6th, but that has definitely been confirmed. It is January 6th.
Absolutely.
Pence is the one person that could blow this crap wide open.
He could. And he's going to talk. He's not going to talk in public, but we know Pence is going to squeal like a pig behind closed doors. I guess they've been negotiating with his people for 2 months to set this up.
Here's the thing. So I think there's a couple of dynamics going on, right? Because they were negotiating with him. It has been said he was never going to go in there voluntarily. And he even suggested a couple of times along the way, well, if I'm subpoenaed, then I won't have any choice, because he does follow the law. That much is clear.
Right.
He was going to allow himself to be hanged to follow the law.
Right.
Bad joke. Anyway.
It wasn't that bad, but some people didn't get it.
But anyway.
I digress.
He, so now he has to cover the subpoena. He has to follow the law. He can go in there and talk. He cannot plead the fifth to anything. Right. And there was more than one conversation with Trump.
You know what's interesting to me? Like, these pieces are falling into place, and I think they were like preordained. I think it was preordained that the J6 committee did not subpoena Pence because they knew that,
not Trump until the very end, because they didn't want that to be a distraction.
Exactly. And it's almost like they were like, we're going to let that go on to the DOJ, and then they're going to handle Pence.
We'll let them handle that.
Right. Because
why mire ourselves down in that?
Right. Because we absolutely knew, like you just said, Pence is the key. He was pressured. They called him with the plan, like, this is the plan. This is what we're going to do. Right. Like, so he knows
on more than one occasion.
Exactly.
Right. Because they had to go over the plan with him more than one time. And then and then there were a couple of options for him to take the slate of fake electors, which his offer was like, get that crap the hell away from us. We don't want anything to do with that.
Right.
Or to send stuff back to the states.
Absolutely.
Right. So like he had a couple of different. So, I mean, they had to talk him through all of that.
Yeah.
Trump was it's probably text messages. And the other thing, I think it was Ari pointed out earlier, Pence's aides, a lot of his aides went before 1-6.
Right. Exactly.
So,
yeah, he's not going to lie.
Have all but laid the groundwork for what happened, Absolutely. From what because the 1-6 testimony, they can hear the hearsay.
Right.
From, Cassidy, it was my understanding, or something was said to the effect of. So basically, they kind of know. Right. They just need to hear from Pence himself.
Right. They know. And that is one of the reasons why we know I don't think Pence would give false testimony, because he went on and said that Biden is the president, right? He went on and certified.
Exactly. Like he was never, he never denied that he made Biden the president. He certified it, right?
Exactly. So he's not going to go and lie now. Also, he cannot lie after, as you said, his people have already testified. So he really has to tell the truth so that it matches up.
Let me tell you something. Jack must be a parent. Because this is how you get it done, right? When something goes wrong in the house, you pull each child aside. You get the version of the story.
Exactly.
You kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
And by the time you get down to the one that is like, I'm just waiting to see if you're going to tell me the truth, because I already know what happened.
Exactly. And didn't he get there fast? What? Didn't he get up the ladder fast? Jack Smith got up that ladder at record speed.
He can thank the 1-6 committee for that.
Yeah. Record speed.
Really seriously.
Yeah.
Really seriously. And you know, like, oh my goodness, you just said this. It was, and I know we have to move on. You kind of said it was kind of preordained. But if you look at how it went, the DOJ went after all the people that were in the building, right? And all of this time has passed. Some of them are still getting sentenced. The guy that carried the Confederate flag got 3 years.
God, let's talk about that for a minute, because we don't have anyone in the chat to do quotes anyway. So,
right.
But no, I saw that, and I'm like, oh, these soldiers are getting put away.
That's not an insignificant amount of time.
It is not.
You're not going to have a job.
3 years here. A father and son duel between the two of them, 5 years.
That. Like, seriously, I think that part was just as important as what is going on now. Right. And here's the thing. Maybe Merrick should have been focusing on, well, you know what? We just would not have known that there was a conspiracy at that point, right? You are, I mean, literally, we all watched January 6th.
Right.
So your first thought is, who are these people? Let's get them in.
Right.
Only when we did the impeachment, we didn't know anything about a conspiracy.
Right. We only thought, like, you know, we're like, well, it's because of Trump, right? But we didn't know all of
there was none of the background about the tweet, the timing of the tweet going out after the meeting on the December 21st. It was like, the plan was all there. Right. And so they went after the people, and like you said, preordained. And now you have a special counsel, not the overworked people, a DOJ, not Merrick taking something else under his belt. He was like, here you go for the 2 biggest portions for the conspiracy, for the RICO case, or whatever it is you want to call it. Speaking of, we ain't heard from Fonnie in a minute. I just want to throw that out there.
Right. Because
the hearing was on January 24th.
Right. So she's where are we at now? So the special grand jury convened. So she's with the regular grand jury right now, correct?
We're at, I think her words were, charges were imminent. That's where we at.
And we gonna see that recommendation.
Charges are imminent. Is what
imminently.
Imminent.
Yeah, see, she waiting for taxes to be over. She know y'all busy right now trying to get them taxes.
Right.
But I got some tax tips to grab. When I tell you I was writing everything down, I was like, oh, tax season, I have tax tips. Listen, who doesn't need some tax tips? Stop playing with me right now.
but back to that Pence subpoena. He is high up there. He is not.
And he can't take mama. He can't take mama in there. He can't take mama to that deposition.
He don't need mama. He got God and the truth. The truth will set you free.
Well, shit, he ain't gonna be set free because he ain't telling his whole truth. But that's enough.
We shall see, won't we? We shall see.
Yeah.
That is his good stuff.
Oh man, I know Pence must be like, damn it, y'all really don't want me to be president, do you? Because this just messed up all of
my heard it straight off just I'm not even gonna say it. Word on the street is he polling at 2%. He ain't gonna be president, no way. But you know what I wanted to say, right?
Yeah. He taking a poll on the street. But I do want him to run, though. I don't know what's taking him so long to throw his hat in. Like, what is this?
Pence?
Pence is scared of Trump, too. You know what? But then again, see, well, no, Trump would do that to Pence. I was going to say they're going to be afraid because Trump is literally out here calling Ron DeSantis a groomer. Like, he's really saying that he touched kids. Like, he's saying that on Truth Social. This is coming out of his mouth.
Trump is so desperate. That is so desperate.
Right? Like,
I mean, here's the thing. Okay, listen, Mikey. He already tried the assassination attempt on your life and he failed. It's okay. He failed. You won. I won. You won. Go in there and sink his shit, bruh.
Yeah, he's not gonna do it. He too.
Do us a favor. There is a plan in place. You sink him, he sinks Ron,
right?
And we move on from there.
Exactly. Because the bottom line is we want Ron sunk.
Because we didn't have anybody to sink him, right? Pence, come on, Mikey. Come on.
Yeah, we need some more people up in there. Pompeo. Ben Carson, you want to run? Where are you at, Ben? You don't want to run? How about Herman Cain? Oh, sorry.
Too soon?
Tell Diamond, I said, hey, is it Diamond? Or is it Silk? I don't know which one.
Well, Trump only knows one of them. So
that is true. Sorry that we're talking about the dead, but those dead were really awful people. I mean,
and now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
On to more people that
yeah
talk like they dead, but they are actually alive.
Exactly.
We are going to now move on to the news story about how the College Board had conversations for months with none other than Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, regarding the AP African American course curriculum. Months.
Right. So if someone is out there doesn't know what's going on, there is a AP course called African American Studies that a number of states have adopted. I forgot how many states, but many states are like, hey, cool. Kids are signing up for this program. It gets to Florida. Ron DeSantis says, no, African American Studies does not add any educational value.
Nor did it comply. Stop breathing, stop living, stop being human, stop being black, stop woke, stop gay. I don't know. The STOP Act. It just didn't comply with STOP.
His anti everything. It didn't comply. So he got upset about it and he said he's not going to accept it into his state. Go ahead.
Just kind of an important, I guess, pre-note to that, right? Because it becomes more important now, right? This story just broke about him not accepting the AP course. Was it last week?
Yeah, we talked about it, because we wasn't on for the last 2 weeks.
So it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yes. So it just broke about how he publicly rejected. Right. However,
right. But the week later, right? So because that happened real fast, how we got here. And then the next week, all of a sudden, the College Board changed the course around.
But said that I read this. The remarks made publicly in January would not have had any effect on the changes that we were already considering.
Right.
That turns out, oh my God, that were made by the one making the remarks.
Right. So let's go step by step. So Ron DeSantis had issue with a lot of the Black authors, like Maya Angelou, Alice Walker, the Blacks. He had problems with the Blacks. He had problems with the Black queer section because
intersectionality. Yes, Black queer specifically.
Exactly. the Black Lives Matter movement. He didn't like that, all of those things. So then the following week, the College Board removes Black Lives Matter movement, removes reparations, that part.
Wait, they removed them from the core curriculum,
exactly,
in which the students would have been tested on
right.
at the end of the course, but they could still choose them as electives. And again, the comments that were made publicly were not made in time for them to have any effect on the changes in the curriculum.
So they said. But you know what they added, which was a hotel. So before the news came out, the breaking news today, they added Black conservatism.
Right, because that's one of the electives.
Black conservatism. In the African American Studies course,
that's not a thing. Black conservatism is not a thing in Black America.
What does that have?
Why? That is so whitewashing.
Because where's Black? Because there's no Black Democratic. You know what I mean? Like, where's the Black liberalism? Is that a course? You know what I mean? Like,
for African Americans,
right? Why are we shoving politics? Because Black conservatism is politics. So that is the core of the issue with Ron DeSantis, because he thinks, as a totality, African American studies is a liberal study, which pisses him off. Like, that's all, and he thinks the Blacks are liberals. Like, that's just the problem right there.
So, was it today? Yeah, today. Yes, breaking news today.
A couple hours ago.
Was it? I'm not even sure. Was it a press release from Ron DeSantis? It was a letter, right? Yeah,
a letter that was first talked about on what the hell is that called? The Daily Caller, a conservative site.
There you go.
Wrote about it, and then the actual letter was posted on another conservative site, and then the Florida Department of Education authenticated the letter and said, yeah, no, this came from us. Absolutely.
Right. Like, absolutely, we had that control. Absolutely, we had these changes made. Taking credit for it. Taking credit for it. You know what?
Ron DeSantis' administration took credit for changing the African American
College Board under the bus, and started it up and rolled over it flat.
Yeah.
Taking credit for we had Black Lives Matter taken out. Oh, really? I'm sorry. What is Ron's background? Was he a teacher, educator? Is he Black?
He was a teacher. Stop playing right now, because one of his students has spoken out and said that, and I think he taught history, and she would say that she did not like when you get a minute, just kind of Google whatever, because she's all over the place. She gave interviews that he would teach the wrong history, like what he's saying about slavery, how like only a certain percentage of people came over to North America as slaves. That's what he was teaching.
Wow.
Yes, he did,
and he was allowed to get away with that.
Maybe.
Let me tell you something, Black people. We have got to start advocating for our children in these schools. You think your schools are messed up? You think our schools are messed up? And they are.
Yeah.
Imagine the schools in Florida right now. Imagine the education our Black children are going to get in Florida right now. Even in the good schools, it's not going to be anything taught about us. We have got to education, and during the civil rights movements, 40s, 50s, go to college. And I'm not advocating college, anything. Education. This is why Brown versus the Board of Education exists. Education, knowledge was our key. And education is knowledge, right? It was our key. You have to know stuff.
Right.
He's just
this has to be bigger, right? And the problem that I'm having is that, and I don't think that Democrats are, and I know they're busy, but we're going to have to be able to multitask. And I don't think they're talking about this enough, because this is a big problem.
It is a huge
they're
problem.
starting with our education, and it's starting, like, you're talking about one governor is controlling the college board, one governor that they're afraid of, that is going to run for the presidency of the United States. Democrats should be yelling the same way that we yelled about Roe and everyone took to the streets and marching. This is just as bad. This is just like the killing of the Black community, because he's trying to get rid of it. And he in Florida, Ron DeSantis is not a Florida problem. Ron DeSantis is a threat to democracy. So that makes him all of our problems.
Exactly.
So because
it starts with the erosion of education.
Yes. Right. Everyone. And like you said, parents, you got to, and I know that there are parents that are suing. We got Ben Crumb that's out here representing some of the students, but we need louder noise. We need noise from the North. We need noise from all of these states, because this shit is serious. This woman, I just read this maybe yesterday or today. I don't know. But anyway, I think she's in Ohio. He said, this is Black History Month. She asked her kids about Martin Luther King, what they knew about Martin Luther King. And maybe this article is about her now, but she did this a little while ago. But anyway, the kid said, I don't know, he's a man that did a speech. These aren't babies. These weren't babies that she was asking. I think her kid was like 8, 9, 10, around that area. She pulled her kids out in Ohio because I think I talked about this before. There are Black people in different states that are doing homeschooling, and they're doing homeschooling in like these clusters because, you know, a lot of them are working. So they're taking turns like being home so that they can take these kids out on the field trips and teach them, and like group homeschooling. So it's not just your kids, it's a group of kids. So that's happening a lot right now. And it's, parents are going to start pulling their kids out of school, because there's no way parents are going to leave their kids in these schools, girl. This is
here's the thing. I mean, if you pull them out, you have to put them somewhere. And for so many of our parents, we can't be home with them to homeschool.
You can't, right. And that's why they're having those
we have to figure out alternatives,
right? And that's what they're doing,
education,
right?
To make sure our kids
it's almost like a little school, like it's homeschooling, but it's a group of kids. You got like 20 or 30 kids doing the homeschooling together, so whoever can do it. So that's what's going on right now. And speaking of that, the Nazis are also doing homeschooling, right? Also in Ohio, in Ohio. This group, and I wrote it down and I don't have it right now because they have a specific name, and the guy is from a well-to-do family with an insurance business who founded this network of Nazism, and they're pulling the kids out of school and like teaching them how to be better Nazis, girl.
Let me tell you something.
Excuse me, my nose running. Oh my God.
Yeah. Ron DeSantis
is just
wanting to erase Black history, is trying to erase our playbook. We were fierce during the civil rights movement, and we're going to be that again. Not even saying that we aren't now,
right?
But we are smarter. We are more aware, and I think even at a younger age, more aware of what systematic racism. I never heard any talk about systematic racism, and even then, racism was limited to being called the N-word, or, you know, the South, the history of it. It was never taught as a modern day thing. Well, you can't escape that now. You can't escape that now. And so to not include the modern history that has sprang up our modern, civil rights movement is just insane. Again, we're not going to teach Black kids about Black Lives Matter.
Girl.
Huh?
They're not even trying to teach them about Martin Luther King, apparently. And that was always the go-to, right?
He was the one that they do still go to.
He was
right?
the nice one, right? He was the one that wasn't so loud and uppity. He was like the quiet and peaceful one. So when you start taking, girl, when you start,
something to be said for that,
right?
He was starting to change his ways, and then he was assassinated.
Right. But when you start taking Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks off the books, you have no one else.
They took Rosa Parks out.
The life of Rosa Parks. For kids, kindergartners.
You know what? I want to say she's not in the curriculum, period. It's not just the book. Like, she's not talked about.
Right.
Not, I mean, I want to say in Florida, not the whole AP thing. Right. She's not.
It's like
she's nobody.
Right. No. Because how she can't be nobody if we're saying there was no segregation. How can we have Rosa Parks if we're ignoring the part of segregation? We can't talk about Rosa Parks. So, Black people, they chose to ride in the back of the bus, and sometimes you wanted to
they had their freedom. Because as Sarah said, freedom. Freedom.
Speaking of that, it's 8:47. Good segue, girl. Let's go. SOTU. That's our favorite. Let's do it. Let's talk about the State of the Union address.
Freedom.
And Dark Brandon. Dark Brandon brought the
Dark Brandon. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about. You know what? Let me tell you something. All these young people talking about Biden's old. It is a fair assessment. He is an older gentleman. But back to what I said. All these young people talking about Biden's old, da-da-da. They going crazy over that man on TikTok, making his memes, giving him the Dark Brandon.
Yeah.
They is cruising on Dark Brandon right now. He owned
the Republicans. He owned the MAGAs. He owned those. I love, because this is what they teach you anyway. Like, you go out there and you give the compliments first before you light that ass up.
You light that ass up.
Congratulations, Kevin McCarthy, for leading the House and becoming the Speaker. Congratulations. Hey, Hakeem. Yeah. Congratulations, bro.
Wait, no. You got to do it in order. It was Kevin. Yeah. Then it was the Turtle. Longest serving member. First African American. Give it up for Hakeem. And give it up for the Speaker all time, Nancy.
And then he also said, hey, congratulations, Congress.
He did. Now, you know what? I think he was rushing in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because he seemed a little nervous.
Yeah. He pulled it together, though. Very nice. It was very shaky in the beginning. I definitely agree. But then when he started like talking about like I don't even know what he talked about first, but what stood out to me was like the infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
That was just because that's just a big bill.
And it's important.
And it's an important bill. Right.
Who likes potholes? No, like seriously. Who likes potholes? Waiting in traffic?
Exactly.
If you have a bridge, let's go back to this Ohio bridge, right? It was designed to carry, what was it, 80,000 cars a day. Now it's doing 800,000 cars a day. Like, that's traffic. Mm-hmm. That is time spent sitting in your car, not at home, not at work, doing absolutely nothing but burning $5 a gallon gas at this point. Like, that is not, it's a quality of life thing at this point, right?
It is. It is literally, and it's literally life and death because some of these bridges are really awful and they're
Falling. Yeah.
crumbling down. So infrastructure is such a big thing. And infrastructure, it has so many things that are inside of the infrastructure package. Like that's the thing, and good for Biden because, like he said, that's going to give jobs.
The jobs.
Jobs to Americans. We're getting jobs. Who's going to be building the bridges? Americans. And he touted that about these are going to be jobs that you don't need a college education for. Millions of jobs.
When he was speaking about that, he was speaking specifically about the plant that's going up in Ohio. I think it's Intel that's doing a chip factory in Ohio. Average salary is going to be $130,000 a year, and you don't need a college degree. But there are going to be plenty of jobs created like that, right? I mean, Ohio,
iron workers. Hello, you about to build some bridges.
If you are living below the poverty line, forget $130,000 a year.
Yeah.
Make half of that, and you have elevated yourself to a place that you didn't even know was possible. And the thing that he said, if you can stay in your hometown and make decent money and have a decent salary, raise your family, you don't have all of these small towns that die. That people move out of and don't want to come back to because you can have a good let me tell you, I go down to Virginia on the weekends to see my granddaughter. And Virginia, it's crazy. It is. But it is peaceful down there. He's in the rural area. It's peaceful. It is quiet. Nobody bothers you. The air is crisp. There is something to be said to be living in a country or a rural area.
Right.
You don't always have to be in a city with gobs of traffic. It's okay if your town got 3 traffic lights, but you can still, seriously.
That's true. It's true.
It's something to be said, for a slower pace of life. Everybody cannot be running a rat race, or we would all be out here crazy.
Right.
So, I just think that's huge.
It really is.
Speaking of the millions of other jobs that are going to be created, not needing a college degree, because he's doing that America First thing with that infrastructure. Any federal projects have to be huge products made in any product that uses federal money must use products made in
McCarthy, he did a little clap.
No, wait. Good, right. That's not how he was.
Oh, wait.
He was, remember, he was like, right. So you can only see like the fluttering of his thumbs. This is what you saw.
Kevin, so I was like, it's such a weird picture to have, Biden, and then you have Kamala, and then you have Kevin. It's so weird. You used to see Nancy Pelosi up there, but it's interesting because you probably did the same because we be twinning, and just watching Kevin McCarthy's face, because some of the things that Biden was saying, that Kevin McCarthy agreed with, that like
this
when
face.
Yeah, but sometimes he would do this thing like this. He'd be like when he was talking about when
the Kevin head nod down.
Yeah, when he was talking about cancer, the moonshot and the cancer research, Kevin McCarthy, who don't have someone with cancer in their family and knows someone. Kevin McCarthy didn't, none of the Republicans would clap about it. Even when the woman and the man talked about their daughter and Biden's talking about that, they wouldn't clap. It's like
y'all didn't know y'all was supposed to clap because Sarah was going to talk about it afterward.
And the nerve of her to talk so bad about him when he's trying to cure cancer, and the Republicans don't even want to give money to it. Like it's Biden.
Well, she's grateful, but see, you didn't listen to the whole story. The thing that's most important to her is the rifle patch that the man in Iraq tore off that dark Christmas night.
We're skipping to after this. When with Sarah McCarthy.
They went for Christmas Eve. Girl. In the dead of night. They didn't even have their cell phones. And
If you don't know what
everybody, black, white, the green Marines, the pink ones, the gay ones, the straight ones, the trans ones, everyone erupted
who thinks
when they saw the president.
Everyone who thinks honor is going crazy right now. She's talking
about. I am reciting.
Yeah,
the rebuttal speech.
The rebuttal speech, because after every State of the Union, there's a rebuttal, which was awful. But let's go back to Sarah. Let's keep talking about Biden.
I'm not even doing Sarah right.
Oh,
because I was too. It was the dead of night, and
oh my God,
we didn't even have our cell phones.
It was just bad. And it was just bad. She pre-recorded that one.
I already know where my lot is in life, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this. And I can't believe she's 40.
Oh. Yeah. All right. Biden is very I can't even, oh, wow. Wow, that's crazy. She looks a good 55, but anyway, Biden did have a good night. The State of the Union, he showed, oh, go ahead.
The most important thing that came out of
that's what I was going to talk about.
I mean, Social Security and Medicare are off of the table.
Exactly. So we know that since Obama at the State of the Union, Republicans boo for some reason. Prior to Obama, everybody would be at the State of the Union and the president would talk and everyone would respect the president and you would clap about America's accomplishments because they're America's accomplishments. But however, we have a whole bunch of MAGA heads in Congress who do not clap, who want to boo, as Anna was saying, and that happened when he talked about Social Security. You gotta call them what they're MAGA heads, yes. But I watched James Carville yesterday on MSNBC. Trailer Park Trash.
And James Carville said,
he said Marjorie Taylor Greene is Trailer Park Trash.
Trailer Park Trash. So
if you guys didn't know, Republicans have a plan to sunset Social Security every 5 years. So every 5 years.
And sunset, basically, that's such a nice fancy word for expire.
They want it to expire. They really want to get rid of Social Security. They want the option every 5 years to say no, right? And it's your Social Security. Oh, go ahead.
No, you know what? Here's the thing, because one person's plan was every 5 years, but the other person's plan was like every year. Was it? I think it's whoever had the 66-page one. Is that Scott Perry or whatever? It was like, or I don't know if his was every 5 years. If it's important, they'll vote it again. But somebody else wanted to do discretionary spending every year. That might have been Mike Lee. It was
seniors,
radical ass, both ridiculous.
Seniors, people with disabilities, they're trying to get Medicare and Medicaid. They're trying to cut it all. You really need to be paying attention.
Hold that thought. Social Security is not just seniors. It is also,
well, that's why I said Medicare. No.
The SSI portion of Social Security is the disability portion.
It's disabled too, absolutely.
Right. So it's the disabled. Like we are focused on the seniors, but I forgot all about that. When you said disabled, right? They are covered under Social Security. Disability insurance, SSDI,
and people who have lost their spouse or something. Don't you? The kids,
get their Social the survivors, Security, and stuff, all of that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. This is something to talk about some more. Yeah. Right, because we're just focused on seniors, and it is not just seniors that get Social Security benefits.
Right, so and you're not even getting the benefits because guess what? We fucking worked for it. It's ours. So the nerve.
That's the other thing. These words that they use, the sunset and the entitlement. No, I'm not. Yes, you want to call it entitled? Yes, I am definitely entitled to pay to get back what I paid into
right
for the 40, 50 years that I may have worked in my life. Yes,
right.
I'm entitled to that.
Absolutely.
Because that's what I was told when this money was taken from me. Otherwise, you could have let me keep it all and let me figure it out myself.
Absolutely. So when Biden called the Republicans out on trying to do that, they all boo, boo, right? Like, that's what they did.
No, wait, Mike Lee's face.
Right, exactly. Oh my God, girl. Oh God. Yeah. And then the two girls, the two blondes, I'm like, who are they? They were like, yeah. I'm just like, oh my God. So basically he's like, yeah, you are. I have it.
Proposal. Yeah,
Make an appointment. Come to my office. They put it in writing. And Mitch McConnell's like, I told Rich Scott in writing.
And Kevin in the back was doing the same thing. At that point, he was probably like,
this is really. It was just so they booed Biden, and the great part is Biden was just like,
oh, so we have agreement.
Yeah,
we
won't cut it, right? You don't want to cut it.
Let's stand up and clap and they did it.
And Republicans said we're keeping it. They're not going to touch it. See, they said no. Suckers. Just
it
fell
was
right
a
into
master class.
Yeah.
And politician. That's what that was.
Yeah.
It was a master class and politician.
Yeah. They booed.
I'm not even sure Barack could have pulled that off.
No, they booed, saying that they weren't going to do it. And he goes, oh, great.
And so they fully expected him to boo that part.
Right.
They fully expected them to boo. That was scripted.
Yeah, written. Right. They wrote it out like when they boo, blah, blah, blah. Pause, and go, like he did. I have it. Oh, you still booing? Oh, I'm telling a lie? You're not going to cut it?
Master class.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
It was a master class.
Good job, Biden.
Dark Brandon was a beast.
Good job, Brandon, because he, Biden has been working his ass off. America still doesn't realize everything.
Working his ass off.
Doesn't realize everything that he has done, from the Inflation Reduction Act to Black employment is down, still too high, but it is down.
Let me tell you something. We are in February, and I know years run quick, but by 2024, that infrastructure money and those projects should be flowing like water. We'll see how people feel then. Because projects start up in the spring.
Right.
Stuff thaws out. Right. Let's see. And then, people, governments, municipalities have had time to put their plans in place, what they're going to do. And once the weather breaks, it's go time. Right. Let's see how people feel at the beginning of 2024.
Right. And I think a lot of things, like you said, it just takes time. It's like people forget the Emmett Till got passed. Y'all forgot that? The weed offenses, he pardoned all those people and then told your governors, hey, these small weed offenses, let's pardon these people. Guess what the Republicans...
And did this just happen? They just released guidance on releasing those people that were sentenced under the crack disparity guidelines. That part too. That was huge. That was even worse.
Right.
And when they made crack, the little tiny thing of crack, worth more time than a whole 8-ball, whatever you want to call it. Right. Yeah. It really, really, really threw a lot of men in jail.
Black men. So Black people, when you say Biden ain't doing anything for you, what do you think that's for?
Because it disproportionately the weed and the crack disparity in sentencing.
Exactly. So who do you think is being pardoned? Exactly. Who do you think? Republicans don't want you out there. Like, we're not pardoning nobody. We don't care how much read they had. It read. They said no.
Speaking of Republicans, for the next show, we have to talk about Mississippi just passed the bill in the House that creates a separate court system and police state for Jackson. The Jackson elected judges and stuff during their most recent elections. It's going to replace the Republicans are going to replace all of them. Republican judges are going to select more Republican judges to hear or jurisdict over Jackson.
I feel bad for Mississippi. Oh my God.
They have to pay into a portion of this expanded police force themselves. Like all of the judges and stuff that
they can't even give y'all clean water. Like what? Excuse me.
I'm gonna guess. It's
we're gonna give you. We're gonna make you pay for this Republican system, but we ain't gonna give you no water.
No,
girl, that's awful. Like it's just the worst in the poorest state.
The state house and is on its way to the Senate.
When I tell you, this white supremacy,
oh my God,
these people are not playing. We joke around about civil war, and of course it's not going to be a civil war, but they are really fighting to remain in power, and they're just doing like power grabs. Like it's literally,
it's not even just the power at this point. It's the condition that they want to return the country to.
Well, right.
That is just, it's not sustainable for us. We're not going to live like that.
Right. But
and here's the crazy part.
That sounds like power to me because they control everything. They just want white people are afraid because the world is becoming more diverse.
Well, yeah, it's power. But I mean, just even in the sense of most of these people want to return to a time that they weren't even alive for. Like, how do you know how people were living back then? You weren't living back then.
Well, all they know is the people of color were living bad, and that's where they want. That's where they want to put us. Obviously, girl, that's crazy. That is crazy.
It really is. Like you really want to return to. Oh, I have to call this out too, and I know we're over time.
That's fine.
The one thing that Sarah Huckabee said that really irritated me, and I don't feel bad about saying she's 40, looking 75. When she was like, they want us to
look like 20 miles of bad road. Shout out to Maceo.
No, when she said they want us to participate in their rituals and worship their false idols.
Girl.
When she said their rituals, I was like, bitch, are you talking about Juneteenth?
Girl.
Is that what you're referring to?
What else could it be?
Like that is the first thing that popped into my mind. Like, but we celebrate
Juneteenth, Black History Month. Like, what else could she be talking about?
Right. When she said their rituals and worship their false gods. When y'all are following a man in a cult. She said it. It was towards the end, so you may not have.
No,
she went there. She went there.
Girl, stop playing right now. Those people's rituals, like
their rituals. Yeah, they want us to follow.
And I got rid of CRT. I signed the bill. This is what is driving me crazy too. And I know we're over. Every time she said it, Marjorie Taylor Greene says it. I got rid of CRT, and we're fighting racism because they're saying it's the reverse racism is what they're fighting. It's the racism against the white people.
Right.
That's what they're fighting, girl. What?
Right.
Like black people just.
So now they're trying to claim racism.
Black people just don't show up in no pictures. Like they don't care. They don't care about black.
They're trying to claim. I mean.
Oppression Olympics, girl. Oppression Olympics.
There you go. They are trying to claim racism. By the way, we took Brandon back. And we took back America first. Boom. Bye, bitches.
Before we leave, I do want to say congratulations to Viola Davis. She has achieved, I don't know how to say it, ego status.
Ego. I know, right? Congrats.
Oscar, Grammy. Tony, get on, Viola Davis. And I also do want to say congratulations to LeBron James. No one deserves that honor more than him. He has passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 38,388 points.
I watched Chris Hayes, All In with Chris Hayes last night, and he gave LeBron a simply wonderful shout out. He was like, I have never met him, but he was like, I so admire him. He gave him really, really wonderful accolades last night.
And he deserves them all because you don't hear this man get into any trouble. This man speaks out for the oppressed. He's like out there.
Great businessman.
Great girl.
Helping his community.
Girl, shut up and dribble. He trademarked that thing and taking that money and putting it into charities. And like you said, he created I Promise School, and everyone who goes to his school gets a full ride to the University of Akron, is that how you say it? I don't know how to say it, but Akron, Ohio. Right. They get a free ride there. Those kids already. He didn't create a high school. That's like an elementary school that they're in, but they get a free ride going to Akron University. Didn't you just say, what did we just talk about? What else he did something with Kevin Hart? What did they do? Did they open something else or donate money to another school? You just sent that
oh my goodness. I did send you that article. Oh man, now I can't remember what it was. I can't remember. It was something that you just would, I mean, not that they can't, but like it's these black men out here. It was him, Kevin Hart, and who else?
I can't remember who else. I thought it was a basketball coach, but I can't remember.
But yeah, they did something with one of the schools or something like that.
I want to say they donated millions of dollars. I mean, and then remember LeBron has that other thing to help the ex-felons vote. He was paying the probate. Him and other celebrities were paying the fines, probation fines, so that the ex-felons can vote. Like, kudos to LeBron James. And wow, kudos to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for having that record for 39 damn years.
Right?
What the heck?
That's a long time. But you know what? And kudos for them to arrange to bring him out, because again, these youngins out here think that they invented everything. Yes, Kobe was great.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Michael was great. That's our time, right?
Yeah.
But there's a slew of others before him. Kareem, Dr. J.
Yeah. That was really
guy
cool.
that the left-handed dribble, the NBA sign is. I can't even remember his name. Is it Jerry West?
The white man?
Right, the one that the man that the NBA symbol is. The man dribbling.
Somewhere DA would be like, what the hell?
Yeah, because you weren't getting it. But I want to say his name was Jerry West. It might be wrong. DA, where are you? Anyway, but I mean, there's a lot of,
No, absolutely.
We really need, and this is the history that we need to know. We've been great. We've been great. We've always been great.
Wilt Chamberlain, all of these guys. Spud
all
Webb.
Of these guys.
Yeah, just amazing.
All of these guys.
Yeah. And then Florida out here, Sammy Soto. Is that his name? No, not Sammy Soto. What is Clemente? They took him off the shelves in Florida.
What do you mean?
The baseball player, Clemente?
I know who you talking about.
Because he talked in his autobiography, I guess because he had talked about racism.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Him and Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron they took him too. They left Mickey Mantle, girl.
Let me tell you something. Ron DeSantis does not have a national audience.
Yeah. Hank Aaron.
I just don't.
Unbelievable. They were talking about that. They were like, how did he take Clemente? Because Clemente died helping people. I didn't even know that part.
I think that yeah. You know how all the voter registration laws that they put in place, they thought was going to be a hindrance to the 2020 election and they didn't
no.
know what was going to happen and this. Oh, no, I'm sorry. How all the laws they put in after 2020 was going to affect the midterms. We know how to come out.
Yeah.
When the bullshittery gets to be too much, we know how to turn out.
He can't forget those young people.
That's not something that's going to run on. I'm not saying that
it's going to run out in Florida too, girl. Like at some point, because those young people and those older people are going to be like, no, this is a no. I heard a young girl and they were asking about like if Biden should run again, old, whatever. And of course they were like, we don't want him to, but if he does, of course, right? Like that's kind of like everyone's thought, like, he's not the best candidate that we would want, but we'd vote for him because nobody wants DeSantis. Like that's basically what they said. They're like, nobody wants DeSantis. Like the alternative there, Mr. I don't want you to read ever again.
I don't. And again, yes, we've been wrong before, but that's no one on a national level is going to stand for the erasure of Black people in history and modern times, because Black Lives Matter is not history, it's now. I don't know. I just had to. I know anything is possible.
Yeah,
but I know anything is possible, and it is possible that ain't gonna work on the national stage.
Yeah, we hope
to the point of where we'll win him an election. Black people know how to get out and
that's right. And that's the main thing. Just think like he could be your president. Like whether you want to just think, do you want that? And get your ass out to vote. Don't be complicit. Don't be like it's not Trump. So, he's worse. he's absolutely worse than Trump. He is absolutely worse than Trump. He went to an Ivy League. He's a lawyer. He's smarter than Trump. Oh boy, are we over?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like
we had a good time. Yeah, we got everything out that we need to talk about.
Oh my god, and then some. It was a lot of news. That was fun, and we got to chit chat. So there's that piece. It was good to see you.
It was good to see you too, and everybody else out there.
I know. I don't know where our chat is. We would have played the game, but nobody was in the chat to play the game.
That's okay. There was a lot of hot fire going on because both the African American, the College Board, the Ron DeSantis interference, the months long. Didn't they say they started corresponding in, was it June?
Girl, like, oh my God.
It was like June or July of last year. So, it just makes that statement that they made, no public comments in January were going to affect the outcome. It's so disingenuous. It's deceitful.
And just on TV, like I can't, we're just like having a conversation now. Like I just keep seeing that guy on TV talking to Nicole, or was it Joy? He was talking to Joy and she was like questioning him on that. And he was swearing that like, no, these were already our plans. We had these and just all of the things. Oh, they're not really gone. They're electives. And it's like,
but it was a Black guy.
It was a Black man. I know.
I'm going to have to, we're going to have a couple talks with our Black men. I'm going to need y'all to stop and use his pawns.
Say it again.
I'm going to need y'all to stop and use his pawns.
I bet he didn't know about this letter.
I'm going to need y'all to be and use his pawns.
Yep.
Donald, I'm going to stop having you be the one to take the assignment to talk about penises. I'm gonna stop needing y'all to be used as pawns because they making y'all look dumb. And y'all not dumb, y'all kings. Come on. Dumb.
No, Brian Donalds, we don't care about him. He didn't already show his. He disrespected our queen. So you know what? Forget Donald. Brian.
Oh
Donalds.
Yeah, I don't care. But I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying, brah. Come on, brah.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, he's got to rewatch that. I hope somebody put that on like a loop and just send it to him all the time. Because
where are the penises? No. All right, we gotta go.
I'll talk to you later. I know where are the penises.